Hi, this is Prodigal Finds God, and I have a video from another channel today called What Do You Mean? The video is called This Is Why You Don't Mock God. I'm posting this because mocking has been a big theme in a lot of the videos that I've recorded and posted, so hope you enjoy. Thanks a bunch.
One of the most hated men on the internet, built a career tearing people down and spent years mocking Christianity.
Are you a Christian?
No. I just am too practical, rational. You know, things like if God were real, then why does cancer exist?
Yes. People. And I don't need to be redeemed.
But then, after 21 days in the hospital, he now says that God personally revealed himself to him.
God presented himself to me. It was real. And this has been life-changing. I'm so grateful.
Now, to understand why this was near unimaginable, you have to understand who this man was.
Why are you so mean?
He's disgusting. He made blog posts calling Adam Sandler's children fat and ugly.
At its peak, Forbes named Perez Hilton the #1 web celebrity in the world 3 years in a row. His blog was pulling nearly 9 million views per day, and for over a decade, he was one of the most powerful voices on the internet. And he used every bit of that power to tear people apart. At the 2009 Miss USA pageant, Hilton was one of the judges, and he asked Miss California if every state should legalize same-sex marriage.
You know what? In my country and in my family, I think that I believe that a marriage should be between a man and a woman. No offense to anybody out there, but that's how I was raised, and that's how I think that it should be between a man and a woman. Thank you.
So she gave an answer based on her Christian beliefs, and Hilton rushed to his hotel, and he lost it.
Miss California lost because she's a dumb bitch.
He gave her a 0, he called the answer the worst in patent history, and he launched a public campaign against her. All because she expressed her Christian beliefs on a national stage.
I can only say to him that I will be praying for him, and I feel sorry for him. I really do. I think that he's angry. I think that he's hurt.
Okay, but here's where it gets interesting, because later, when she was asked what she would say to him if she could, she said something that, in hindsight, hits different. She said, he needs Jesus. But when it comes to God, his answer has always been clear. He made videos celebrating how he evolved past being pro-life. He treated leaving faith like it was intellectual progress. And then came this recent interview.
Are you a Christian?
No. I'm a believer in science. I just am too practical, rational. You know, things like if God were real, then why does cancer exist? There's no factual evidence that there is life after death.
He didn't believe in God, he didn't believe in life after death, he didn't think he needed a savior, and he held that position right up until the moment he was about to die. It started with the flu, and within days, he developed an ulcer which tore a hole through his stomach lining. Doctors spent 5 days trying to find it, but couldn't. And when they finally went into surgery, they found infection everywhere, surrounding his internal organs. The infection kept spreading, his lungs filled with fluid, and one night his heart became so unstable that a rapid response team had to be called into his room. And on top of that, while he was in the hospital, he developed a second infection. Now, he eventually pulled through, but when he was finally able to talk again, he got on camera to tell the world what happened to him in the midst of all of this.
One of the most special things about this experience is that God presented himself to me. It was not a feeling. God presented himself to me. And I grew up Catholic. I was baptized, had my communion, confirmed, went to Jesuit school for 7 years. But I was never a believer until now. God presented himself to me and then did something that I could only call miraculous. And I was very lucid. It was real. And this has been life-changing. I'm so grateful. I'm excited to start taking the kids to church every week and to just know that God is real. I had my heart open before. I wanted to believe, and I don't have to hope to believe. I know now. I'm so grateful.
But not everyone was excited to hear him say this. When Hilton started talking about this with his co-host, it didn't go the way that you'd hope.
Sorry, I don't mean to get emotional, but you know, I've talked about this before. I made so many mistakes in the past, and I own them, and I regret them, and I'm ashamed of them, and God has forgiven me. And I know you don't want me to talk about God anymore, but God has forgiven me.
I don't think my brain's capable of dissecting this or figuring it out or saying some wacky shit in the Bible means anything. I don't believe any of that means anything. I've said it a million times. I don't know about God and Jesus and all this other wacky shit. It's all nuts to me.
The man who spent 21 days in a hospital, who says that God personally revealed himself to him, is now talking to someone who says that none of it is real. But here's what's crazy about all of this. In 2009, a woman stood on the national stage and gave an honest answer about her faith. And for that, she was called names, shamed, and publicly humiliated by one of the most powerful voices on the internet. And instead of fighting back, she said that she was praying for him. She recognized his pain and his hurt, and she said that he needed Jesus. And 17 years later, that same man is lying in a hospital bed, crying on camera, saying that God presented himself to him. And so now he would say that she was right. Not because she saw something in him, but because she understood something about grace. That the seeds that you plant in someone's life might not bloom for 17 or even 70 years. The grace that you show someone who mocks your faith might not make sense for a decade. And the prayer that you've been praying for someone who seems completely unreachable, God hasn't forgotten it. So if there's someone in your life who rolls their eyes at your faith, who calls it nonsense, who reminds you of exactly who Perez Hilton was before the hospital bed, don't stop praying and don't stop showing them grace. And if you're the one watching this thinking that you're too far gone, well, you just watch what God did with someone that they called the cruelest man on the internet. And if God can save, change, transform, and even use someone like me, then I promise you, he can do the same for you. So don't underestimate what Christ can do. But if you're still sitting here thinking that there's no way that God would want someone like you, well, you're not alone, because one of the biggest podcasters in the world kept asking the same question over and over again, and the real reason might shock you. So go ahead and click on this video to see what I mean, and I'll see you guys next time.